Not yet, what? Okay.
All right, no.
I'd like to inform everybody that this meeting is being recorded.
And is posted to the public.
Yep. Please stand and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right. Would you please call roll?
Yes, we have Chairperson
Don Cole.
Don Cole.
Yes, here.
Council member, Councilperson Mark Law. Donna Reniker. Here. Ashley Gibson. Here. Nate Robbins.
Here?
Mayor Nancy McKinney. I'm here.
Sure.
What are you drinking up there?
Oh no.
Not enough. Public comment taken on the agenda item. Okay. We'll move on to the minutes for September 29th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mark.
Aye.
Donna.
Aye.
Ashley.
Aye.
Nate.
Aye.
Chair, aye. Minutes for October 14th will be tabled tonight. Move on to financial reports and claims.
Alrighty. The reports that were provided to you are dated October 24th, 2025. A cash report for the general fund is $327,426.72. Total cash balance is $2,036,878.56. Revenue budget versus actual current month is a negative $743. Year to date is $1,895,823.77. Expenditures budget versus actual current month $72,752.06. Year to date $1,402,207.53. Payroll register for payday October 24th, $16,033.44. Claims requesting for approval is 19752 through 19759 for $4,144.45.
Make a motion to receive the reports and authorize claims to be paid.
I'll second.
I have a quick question. Are we not using the credit card?
We are.
Then why do we have a personal reimbursement on it?
For
You.
because I don't have a credit card.
You didn't have one under the city?
No, just the employees.
But there wasn't a Darby.
There's one for admin, police department, and public works.
Mark.
Aye.
Donna.
Aye.
Ashley.
Aye.
Nate.
Aye.
Chair, aye. All right, move on to the mayor's report.
Okay, so since the last meeting, I did write a letter and invite everybody who will become officers January 1st to come to the meeting tonight. Definitely before the end of the year, so they know what's going on. Yesterday, I visited the lift station while the engineer from Triple Tree Engineering was there. Also, J&J and Schrock Construction were there, and we reviewed some things that we'll discuss further on under the sewer later. I met with a contractor to get a bid on a fence for the side of the town parking lot, but I only have one of those bids at this time. I'm also working on confirming the water and sewer connection numbers, the population numbers, and the number of connections to the water system and what size line they are, to include with the CDBG grant application that we have being prepared to submit for matching money for the ultraviolet treatment plant. Let's see. I researched our records and those of J&J regarding the broken windshield that was reported down by the lift station. We're making a little progress on that. We've narrowed it down to about a 2-week time span when the record or the windshield must have been broken, but I'm not sure how we're going to determine who broke it because there's no evidence at this point. I'm working with the attorney for an ordinance that will update the decay code numbering system through Ordinance 139 that used the old numbering system from 1975. We have, oh shoot, I didn't bring that to me, but I showed you an example of a letter that I'd like to send out to the townspeople about parking on the street right-of-ways. And so I've formulated it and passed it by TJ, who thought that it was fine. I will get you all copies of it before it goes out to the public so you're aware of what's in it. And basically it just quotes the Montana State Code and the Town Code about how you can't park on the street right-of-way for any longer than 5 consecutive days. You have to be able to move that vehicle on a regular basis.
It's in our packets.
Is it in there? Okay, good. And then after I was going over the police department budget with TJ and Donna and realized that we have some line omissions in the budget, and so I'm currently going through the budget again, seeing if there's any other lines that we're missing, and we'll be presenting a budget amendment to you to make sure that those items are covered. Because they are fairly important items like electricity and phone bills. So, talked with Doug Gannett regarding the final plat map for the Darby Estates subdivision. And the paving is done up there. The street looks fairly wide, but you guys approved like a bike path pedestrian trail along one side. And so that'll all be done, but the striping won't get done until Cole Avenue gets done out there. And so that'll be in the spring when that finishes, but the street lights still have not been installed yet as far as I know and Doug knew. He is out of town traveling, so they have sent him the final plat maps to have signed, and then he will mail them back and they'll bring them in here, and then they'll get reviewed against what was approved with the preliminary plat and all of the things that went on there before I can sign them and file them. I discussed the subdivision proposed by Scott Kaminsky on Missoula Avenue with Jay Estes, the surveyor who is preparing the plat maps. He was even unaware that Scott Kaminsky had passed away, and he didn't know the subdivision had been approved. And so when they called him for the final plat maps, he was kind of at a loss, didn't know that he was supposed to proceed. So I've directed him to get a hold of Heidi, and they can work on that if they're going to present that. I know there are some interested parties in buying the subdivision either before or after it is that subdivision plat is filed. One person would like to redo the subdivision to a lesser amount of housing units. And I have no idea what the other one's intent was. They wanted a copy of the final plat. So that's ongoing.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Is that subdivision like right at the end of Mill Street? Is that where the property is for
It
sale?
is that
or
vacant. It's the vacant field on the north side of Missoula Avenue. Yes, and the road will continue out that way, and was approved for 5 building lots back in there.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Is that the one with the for sale sign on it now?
It could be, yes.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah. She's not, Heidi, his wife, is not interested in actually doing the development. So it is her interest to sell it to someone else, and it's to her advantage if she has a plan already approved, which there is an approved plan. And that may warrant a little more investigation too, because of, I'm not sure if it was a corporation or the individual that submitted the subdivision, because he would have to sign the plat if it was him that submitted it. So it might be a start over from scratch anyway.
That was a few years ago.
No, just this last spring.
Like,
So I discussed your approval of the trees being removed from the parks with the contractor, who said he would have to amend his bid if we were going to require him to hand pile the debris on site and leave the bigger pieces for firewood for people. And their interpretation of that was them cut it up into firewood sized pieces. And I said, even if it was in tree length. So we've got a couple different bids there for you to review so that you can clarify which way you want to go. Their idea was the manual labor to pile it on site and prepare the firewood for people was more intensive than picking it up with an excavator, putting it in a dump truck and dumping it in our wood burn pile. And so that was their original bid, was to do that. So that will need to be rehashed. I worked with Public Works to order some reflective stakes that we'll put in to identify the cemetery roads and the edges of the roadway up in the new subdivision until we get used to where the roadway is there, so that we're not plowing over the curb stops and that type of thing. Let's see, I think that is just about everything, other than I got my ballot in the mail, and I hope you all got yours and that you have filled them out and sent them back in. Thank you.
Thank you. Any council member reports? Do you have anything from PJ?
No.
Okay. You got anything else to put in? Okay. Please do, when you're ready.
So, you guys asked about the Verizon. They sent an email yesterday, and they gave us a new proposal. It is giving us $700 a month, starting on October 1st, 2026, with the new rent escalator, 10% every 5 years. The next increase would be October 1st, 2031.
And what are they paying right now?
900 something.
904 and some chunk change
And it still escalates.
every 10.
I mean, it's basically the same type of contract.
Just change
It
the amount they
escalates.
pay right now.
They started
Lower
back
it.
to where we started from when we got it a long time ago.
I'll have to look. I'll have to compare it to where it was, because wasn't the last one every 5 years it would escalate? And this one, she said it escalate every year?
Every 5.
That's every
It
5.
is every 5 years. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
There's still no incentive to do it.
When they put the tower up there, we started at 7 or 7.25.
And now we're at 9.
And now we're at 9. And now they want to roll it back to 7.
But they're still raising their bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll put this on the agenda for next time.
All right.
Because they wanted an answer by November 8th, but I'm going to let them know it won't happen till November 13th.
Right.
Okay.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Hold on. No. Let's see, I'll talk about that one. Nope, that's it.
Okay. Anything?
Oh, yeah, I do. So if you guys, since we're recording our minutes now, they're actually on YouTube. So, the ones from last month or last time are on YouTube, and these will be on YouTube. You have to give me a few days, but I will have them on there for you. And you can listen to them there.
And will there be a link on
There's a
like
link.
the town's website, how to find them?
Yes, so if you go under current agenda, there's a little thing that says go to the Google Calendar, and I have a link on there that will lead you to YouTube to
Okay.
see the minute, or to listen to it.
Okay.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it. I think.
Anything from Public Works?
Public Works, you have your report for October for the 329 hours that Public Works turned in on their time cards.
So I'm wondering if there's a mistake because it says holidays worked and then it says 72 hours.
That could be an input error of mine. I will double check that and see, because it shouldn't be that many.
I wouldn't think so.
No, we
with
only had
two
one
public-
holiday, so.
Yeah, we only had one holiday with only 2 employees. And I'm wondering if maybe some sick, maybe it didn't belong on sick or comp or something.
I'm thinking that, yes, I must have something transposed, but I'll check on that and I will send you out corrected forms.
Okay.
0 hours for paperwork?
It's on the computer now.
I questioned that as well, and Travis has not been doing water reports, and Lenny has been doing the water reports and sending them to the state as they're needed when he comes in on Mondays to do his time card for payday. And he has been instructed that he is to report that hour that it takes him or whatever to do the water reports, so that we have some record that they are submitting on. Because that was my concern, is that we weren't turning them in.
I had a question not about this report, but Public Works. I know before there was a document that Public Works created for the connections and regarding lead and copper connections, things like that. And I know that we reached that milestone, but in the down the road, what's the next milestone and what's the date that we have to be ready for that?
For the verification of the lead in the connections is the one that you're talking about. I don't know what that is.
I just don't, I mean, I know
Check on that.
things kind of get away from us, and I just don't want to miss that. If it's going to cost us extra money and we can get some kind of grants to help do the actual excavating
And there is a chance that we don't have to do those after they went to the last training, that you don't have to excavate every connection
oh, nice.
and that kind of stuff. So, but we'll do a little research on that and find what it is that they found out.
Okay.
Moving on to committee reports, planning board. Nada. Local government review.
We're hoping that's going to have news. We'll have news by, well,
Next meeting.
by the next meeting, yeah. Whether it's certified or not, I don't know, because they'll take the votes and then they'll canvass them and verify they're all accurate, but before they'll certify them.
Moving on to unfinished business, the sewer project progress budget update.
I'm sorry.
We're waiting on you.
I'm thinking here. So the sewer project progress and update. Our visit yesterday revealed some unhappy events. They have discovered that the hatch in the ceiling or in the roof of the building is not over the area where the screen needs to go down. Jacobs Engineering was subcontracted, and Jacobs told them when they discovered this back a few months that it could be taken apart and put in there in sections. Well, the screen arrived last week, and looking at it, J&J doesn't want to take the responsibility for taking it apart, and I don't want them to. I think it will void the warranty. It is a auger type driven inside around that has a water connection that goes on the side of it, that has to slide down into guides on a rectangular metal piece that has to be mounted on the wall inside of the building, and then that round part goes down inside of there into manhole 0 to pick up all of the debris and take it up out of there. Without direct access over the metal part to slide it straight down into the guides, it's an impossible task. So the hatch on top of the building needs enlarged. Didn't seem like a big deal to me, but it's been designed with the Cadillac of roofs, with a metal roof that is heat seamed on the top. And so once you can't cut down through it because of the type of insulation and the way it's holding the inside sheetrock all together. The contractors from Schrock are saying that the entire roof will have to be taken off and the hatch enlarged with the double where they put two big boards together for the support around it and everything that has to go from the north side of the building to the south side. And you can't reuse the metal that's on it either. After you once tear it off, it's garbage. So I have asked them to investigate a couple different things. Even if you remodel an old house, as anybody who watches the renovation movies on TV, you can put a beam in and support it from somewhere and have it help support that without tearing the roof totally off. And in addition to that, Tammy was going through the contract with Triple Tree. And this is, Paul admitted yesterday at the meeting that this is an engineering error. There is
So are they going to eat it?
There is a statement in their contract that says the town does not have, no.
Oh.
That's what I was expecting to see too. But we found a statement in there that says that if it's a technical error on their part, that they can't make us pay for it. So we'll see how this all goes. We may need to have a special meeting because there is no way that Schrock was able to give us estimates on fixing this problem by today. And so they are supposed to be working on some solutions and some suggestions. And the engineering company is working on it. And they're supposed to get back to us as soon as possible, hopefully before the end of the week. But I haven't gotten any word from them about when they will be able to provide us with some additional information.
Well, and on top of that, like, how long will the construction take?
And
Can they even get to it before?
Well, and that's the other prong of this whole thing, is Schrock Construction does not want to tear the roof off until spring, when they don't have to worry about it snowing and
But
filling
that
the building
hurts our
full of
grant.
snow. We can't access the $12,500 that's left in the grant
We need
money
a second opinion on engineering.
without finishing the project.
Right.
And what Tammy and I discussed and were worried about, so you don't meet the substantial completion date, which was Friday, which they've already talked to MSEP about, but we've got to inform the rest of the grantors that we're not meeting the substantial completion date, and we have to extend that. That grant deadline of December 31st is still hard in stone as far as I know. So I'm saying that we have to take the risk to do that. The good news is we just as well take down the dead tree that's back behind it, because if it falls on the roof, it's not going to hurt anything at this point.
Just a favor. Have to pay for
So
redoing the roof.
anyway, that is yet to come, and you will hear from us just as soon as we get some more information, because I don't know where that's going to end up. I have informed him that we are not operating on the pretense that just because the state said we can borrow more money, that we should, because we have a difficult time paying it back. People here cannot afford to have to borrow more money. And so they need to rectify this and get it down to reasonable cost to do this. And it will be in their benefit from after we find the contract to get it done at a reasonable price as well. So that's the good news, bad news of the sewer progress. The other part is, a while back we reviewed some engineer invoices for about $71,000 that they wanted paid for, and they wanted to move money out of the contingency line into engineering because they have exceeded their budget. And we told them no, we didn't want to move it out of contingency because we were worried there were going to be some other problems arise. And lo and behold. So in reviewing those invoices, I have found about $3,300 that they have billed us for reviewing this problem with the hatch in the roof and the wet well not lining up, the additional piping and that kind of stuff that's in those. So they would like to be paid for those, and I don't mind paying them for work that they have done that doesn't have something to do with this error problem. But
How long have they known about it and been reviewing it and did not inform us of this issue?
Well, and we've got dates clear back into September. the first
Were
part
they
of
even done with
September.
the road? When did
But
they
there are
finish
some line items even farther back than that. And the roof has been done for that long, yeah. But we're still working on clarifying that. But so when we call a special meeting, I would like to include those invoices and the errors thing all at the same time so that we have a little more time to finish reviewing that. Because we have found some additional things that they have billed us for that are connected to this, some that we have paid and some that we haven't. So I would like to make an adjustment on their invoice to not include those items.
So is this gonna affect the 31st when they were supposed to be done, or are they gonna start getting fined?
It is,
Because I think they
That's
need to
Friday.
get fined. I know
Friday.
it's Friday.
and this is not a contractor's issue. This is an engineer's issue. And the $1,500 is on the contractor. So who are you going to penalize?
Could we say a poorly engineered problem?
So that's another prong of this whole
Oh, I see.
thing is
I see what he's saying.
we're pretty stern about we were not going to give them any more expansions, that the $1,500 was going to apply come October 31st. But this issue, it's here. They were ready to work.
It's not the contractor's fault.
It's not the contractor's
engineer's
fault. So,
Right.
and it doesn't say that we can find
Charge them.
the engineers. It only says that we can find the contractors.
Right.
So I'm not sure where you guys want me to go with that. I can have an attorney review it and see if he thinks it's applicable to the engineers as well as, but it is the construction contract that it has that in there.
I sent my recommendation down to you already.
Now he's got that tagged with changing engineers.
I did see that and wondered where his office was located, but I haven't done anything with it yet.
At this point, what are our options?
Our options are to find the quickest solution to getting this fixed
Right.
and operational. We've tossed around, well, what if we didn't use the screen? What if we just put it into service? Well, that's one of the biggest reasons that we were doing a new lift station. It's got bigger pumps in it to serve more people. But the problem we were having is community people are not wise in what they flush down the toilets. And so it was clogging up the lift pumps and burning up pumps and that kind of stuff. So that's why the screen is actually pretty important for us to do. Plus, it is a custom order. And so there's no way we can just send it back and get a refund for it.
So is there a way that they can guide this screen down and get it in the right spot?
Not with the hole where it's at, because once you put the metal part in, it's got pieces on it that have to slide down in the guides. So it's got to be straight up and down over the guides to slide down where it needs to go.
But you can take it apart and put it in.
You can. It's in sections, in metal sections, a little longer than the table. But then that auger on the inside does not break apart in the same places that the pole does.
Is it overall too long to go?
You would have to pull it out. Yeah, it's 23 feet long, this whole device.
So even if you broke it apart, how would you get the auger back in it?
I don't know.
I don't think that
'Cause
you
if you
could unless
can't-
the auger comes apart in pieces on the inside of there.
And you don't know that till you get in there. And besides that,
The
that would
warranty
nullify
also.
the warranty.
I would
Well,
think that
I
it
wonder
would,
if you
yes.
could get the company that built it to.
Well, they requested directions on how to take it apart. J&J had already requested from the manufacturer on some directions how to take it apart, because if there are no standard setup, people don't normally do that. And so they requested them to start working on a set of instructions for them in case they were told that's what we wanted them to do. And I'm saying I don't think that's what we want them to do.
Well, I was thinking, like, if that was possible to have the company, a representative from the company, come down and supervise it to keep
it
the
might be
warranty.
wise.
But if you
Yeah.
can't,
Right.
if it's not going to fit anyway,
Yeah,
then there's no point in even doing that and taking
No.
the chance at it.
Time to get somebody who knew what the heck they were doing in the first place.
And actually, the guy from J&J that's supposed to put it in there sounds very knowledgeable. He has very good reasoning about why he doesn't want to do that, how he would put it in there. He actually is not going to the metal bracket that attaches to the wall. He has a system where he is going to suspend that in place and then wants to lower this other part in where it's supposed to be to make sure that it's where it needs to be before they anchor the metal bracket to the walls, so he doesn't have to drill numerous holes in there and all of that kind of stuff. Because on the end of this is a swivel type adjustment. And so it's got to be fit down in there. That swivel is what has to attach to something down in the wet well. And so it sounds like a real jigsaw.
We hope that they can have a resolve for this shortly, so we'll know what's going to happen and what our choices are.
And J&J and Schrock said that they would try to get some figures together on how much it was going to cost, all of that type of stuff by the end of the week.
Okay.
So,
Do you have a question,
sooner the
Matt?
better.
Yeah, I do. Who's the distributor for these parts and so on and so forth? Where are they out of?
You know, I don't know where they are out. It starts with an H.
Okay.
And we don't deal with them directly.
I-
The contractor company
Yeah,
is the
I
one who's
understand
done
that.
that. It's something like a Hober or Huber or something like that is the name of the company that makes this.
Well, what I'm thinking is, this seems like a big deal.
It's a very big deal.
A very big deal, okay? And I, as a person, and we do a lot of renovations and whatnot, when we don't get answers from someone, we go to the source to find out exactly what we're being told and being sold. So that's just like my thoughts.
Yeah. Well, and you said J&J is in contact with them.
J&J is in contact
Right.
with them.
Can I have
Really,
your name,
if the
ma'am?
hole was...
My name is Lena, L-E-N-A.
Last name?
Kamai, K-A-M-A-E. Hawaiian name.
If the hatch was in the correct
Thank you.
place, they wouldn't have a problem. They
Right.
would have it in. And this guy from J&J says, even with him pre-planning he had his suspension stuff all ready to hook up and everything. But it's going to take him 2 to 3 days to put it in. When they can get the hatch opened up.
So
I'm thinking, why not put it in before they get the roof put back on?
That's what I was just going to say.
they've got
Why
the
not
roof on,
even
just
just
put it
cut
in.
a hole where it'll conveniently fit him in and put it in and scab some kind of a patch over that until the roof can actually be replaced or the
That's
hatch
something that could
fixed or
wait till
whatever.
spring.
And
Did
you know,
you
once
say
they
that they
seal
couldn't
that
cut the
part,
roof?
Yeah.
He
Even
said
temporarily.
that they can't just cut a hole in the metal and the type of foam insulation that's in between, that they can't just cut a hole in it and make the hatch bigger.
why not?
That you have to take the metal off and then you have to remove that and put the double headers in. And
Well, do it
that's
on this
why I
section.
want. That's why
just
we
the one
wanted.
section.
And,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I know it's a low sloping. That's why it's a seamed roof. It's because the pitch of the roof is low. So why not? Excuse the term, MacGyver, some kind of a metal roofing patch over that hole.
Temporary
Cut the
patch.
hole,
Till the spring.
put it in, put this temporary patch over, and then at the time that the roof can be adapted properly, whether we
Spring
lift
or
the
whatever.
pitch of the roof so it's not a sealed roof anymore, and then put the new roof or whatever it is on it, and save time by getting. It might cost some more money for labor to do it twice, but cut the hole, get the auger in. I call it an auger. I know it's a screen. Cut and get that in, and then let's seal this over with whatever we can until it
Till
can
they
be
can
Until
fixed.
they can do the roof.
Until it can be fixed
Yeah.
properly.
But
Well,
we,
That'd make more sense.
we could lose our grant money because the
Well, if they
project's
get-
not completed.
Well, either way, we're going to lose our grant money if we sit on our hands and don't do nothing,
Yeah.
or we wait for them to get the roof fixed. Either way, and I'm not saying wait until spring to do the roof. I'm just saying cut the hole, get the auger in, and then take the next step, because yes, cut the hole, remove the insulation, build the header so it's framed properly, blah, blah, blah. But just affect this end of I'm assuming it's on one end of the building.
It's on one side. So.
And then address, the next step next. It's not going to be a perfect seal until the roof can be replaced. And if we can get the roof replaced in the next few weeks, let's get the roof replaced. If not, I knew masons that would set brick all winter long. And they did that by insulating the whole house and applying heat to the house. So I know that to replace the roof is not conducive in moisture, but it can be done.
So would it not technically be substantial because the functionality of it would be there? It's just an extra hole in the roof, but the functionality,
Sunroof.
right?
Yeah, with
would be there. So would it not be?
I don't know. The object is to get it up and running to serve its original purpose.
Right.
And it's not, well...
It'd be functioning even though the roof wouldn't be whole.
Yeah.
Maybe they'd be willing to bend a little bit with
it's
that.
got sheetrock on the inside of it. But if that
If we covered it,
Sheetrock can be fixed.
I mean, I don't see why that wouldn't
be cheaper that way for them or whoever's going to end up paying for this.
Yep.
Well, and honestly, that gives us a little time to duke it out, because that's what it's going to come down to.
Yes, ma'am.
Regarding the grant, what's the cutoff on the grant?
The last date, it's December 31st.
Okay.
The project has to be completed.
Okay, so the grant money comes from where? The state?
We have, it comes from, we have three different ARPA grants, I think.
Okay.
And Montana Coal Endowment Grant and an RRGL grant. There's about $3 million worth of grants and an additional $2.1 million in a loan from the state revolving fund.
But this seems like it would be a special circumstance, unforeseen. Is that something that could be negotiated?
The engineer that was here yesterday feels that we can convince them that they need to extend that date for us.
Okay.
Our problem with allowing them to extend the date, it seems like they wait until 2 weeks before the date and then they start to work on it. So we're trying to get a little pressure added to get them to get it done. We've been working on this since 2022. We're ready to be done.
Well, and, we've kind of pushed off the use of the grant, and so I don't foresee us getting an extension on it.
Yeah, I am not real sure, and DEQ has to approve it as well. So those are all things that are being worked on to see what and if, and we don't know for sure.
And when we have the special meeting to make the decisions, it would be nice if an engineer was here and not via Zoom.
Remote.
Right. Okay. Right.
And not have that same answer we got before.
Oh, that's a good question. Someone needs to be here. What's that?
I wonder if J&J can come.
I'm pretty sure they will send somebody.
I started to say, because we kind of need their side too.
Right.
Well, and J&J is the one that does the equipment, but then Schrock is the one that does the building. So we'll check to make sure that representatives from all of them could be here again.
Okay. Moving on to the tree maintenance.
Okay, as I mentioned in my report, the tree maintenance, they have amended their bid that they gave you. I just need to know which option that you want to go with.
Well, personally, just finding out we might end up having to spend a lot more money on something, I think that's a little more important.
Say that again.
I said personally finding out we may end up having to spend more money on a project seems a lot more important to me right now than the trees. Just my opinion.
And that is, I mean, if that's what you want to do, we can postpone it.
Is there any?
You can attack it later. It does come from a different pool of money. Unless you choose to amend the budget to use general fund money to help the sewer fund, or something like that would be the only way that the extra money should come from anywhere else but the sewer fund and fees that are raised from that, the loans and the grants that we have.
Well, I drove by and looked at the one on Tin Cup that's leaning to the dead one, the dead pine. And it looks to me like it's been dead for a while. And it is so close to a power line that,
You're talking about the one before you get to the park?
yeah.
That's the one we're not sure is even on town property. We're not sure that's
Oh.
ours. According to cadastral records, we don't own that piece of property that's east of the church driveway there. And we don't know,
So the one dead pine is not included in
we're
this.
not, no. It's just the ones that are up along the property line by the Mormon church.
It's included in
It's in there. That's $1,500 to take that one out.
Okay,
The Ponderosa
yes,
Pine.
they did
Yeah.
put it in here. And like I said, Nate and I have looked at that piece of property where it sits. Again, that's a county road that the town assumed as the town grew. We don't know what the legal easement of that is, so we don't really know whose tree that is. If it's our responsibility, the landowner's responsibility. Do you want to spend $1,500 of the town's money to take it down? I'm fine with that. It's going to come down across the road if we don't. But those are the fun decisions.
So before the first bid, they had $1,000 to relocate the cut of the felled wood for the Tin Cup Park down to the
burn pile.
burn pile, and the third bid is turning it into firewood.
Yeah, and they were counting cutting that up into manageable pieces.
And the second bid, if I understand
Just
right,
cutting
was
it and
just
leaving
cut
it.
it and leave it there and let somebody else deal with it.
Yep. And that's you accepting the liability of anybody in the community taking their sod.
Correct.
Public land, yeah.
Right.
But how come you can't find out, like, who owns it, or if it's right by the church? I don't understand that.
It's along the roadway, and so we don't know what the roadway right-of-way is. We haven't paid anybody to research that. It is just a tree that's growing alongside of the road.
Oh, okay.
It's hard to tell if that is Laney's tree, or if it's the church's tree, or if it's ours. We haven't paid a surveyor to tell us, is that on our property or is that somebody else's?
Will it cost us more to pay a surveyor to find out than it would to cut it down?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nowadays, yeah.
Yeah.
It could.
And I know that tree is the one before the driveway going up the hill, right? So I know that Laney has been interested in getting rid of that for a long time for other reasons. But
So we have the money set aside to do this, correct?
We have money set aside to do capital improvements, yes.
do we have room down at the lower property to put all of these trees down there without being in the way?
It'll make future work if we have to clear that area back out again.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, here we are working on phase 2.
Because it's green and it's not going to burn up right away if we put it down there.
Yeah.
They're gonna look. I'm sorry, I'm processing this. They're gonna have to cut it not small, but smaller to put it in a dump truck or dump trailer or whatever, right?
Yeah, it can't be sticking out the ground.
Right.
10 to 12 feet probably.
Oh, that's still. I was wondering if maybe we could have them haul it down there and then advertise to people to
People
come.
can get the wood down there.
That's what I was
I mean,
thinking,
It
but
wouldn't be any different, yeah.
Wouldn't be any different.
with
And it's
somebody
cheaper.
cutting it up, digging it out of the burn pile down there
Exactly.
than it is if they pick it out of the park and do it up here. And it's costing you more to leave it there than it is to have it hauled down there. And then it's if you want to accept that liability, you know. Johnny goes and buys a new chainsaw today and he's going to town property and cuts his leg off. how liable are we by allowing that to happen down the city property?
Maybe have them sign a waiver. You want
I
a
don't
tree,
know.
sign a
I mean,
waiver.
and you can get to the point where we worry about the liability way too much.
Yeah.
But it is something that needs to be noted because it will fall back upon the council if something does happen. Personally, I think Tin Cup Park could probably wait. I would like to see the South Park, the stuff that's cleaned up and out there, because I think those cottonwoods are more of a hazard. Every windstorm that comes along, we have more pieces of them break off and fall out there. But again, we have money set aside for capital improvements from the subdivision. I do not believe that this is a good use of that money, that it should be used to actually improve the park more than just taking the trees down out of it. Put in a home, not homemade, but constructed swing sets or more tables or, something out there that the public could actually use for a longer period of time than just removing the trees that are a maintenance issue in the park.
The problem is there are swing sets and tables in the South Park and nobody can use them because of the trees and the situation.
Garbage piled up around there.
Correct. I was kind of taken back by when they looked at it that they felt there was 27 of those trees that need to come out.
There is.
There's a bunch.
And they're not taking them all because they're going to climb 3 of them and just prune those ones up.
Oh, I don't think we can just keep sitting on them. I think that we've sat on them and we've sat on them, and every time we sit on them, the bid goes up.
Yep.
Personally, I think we need to get it done, and I mean, if it's coming from a separate fund, I feel like we need to get it done and take the first bids that he gave us.
Where they're hauling it.
Where they're hauling it off, and if people want it for firewood, they can get it down. If you want me to, I'll make it in the form of a motion.
Do it.
I would like to motion that we accept bid number 1, dated 10/13/25 for $4,375 to remove the hazardous trees in Tin Cup Park.
I see there.
And bid number 1 for removal of hazardous trees from the South Park for $5,000.
I'll second.
Mark.
Aye.
Donna.
Aye.
Ashley.
Aye. Oh, sorry.
She's got the finger.
I was like, what?
1 minute.
Okay, go.
Are you done, Crump? Okay. Ashley.
Aye.
Nate.
Aye.
Chair, aye. All right, new business. Moving on to Resolution 790, 2024, Western Montana Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan. You're on the board.
Good evening. I'm Jeff Roderick. I'm the Deputy Emergency Manager for River County. So we are presenting to you this evening is the signed hazard mitigation plan that was prepared by the state of Montana, and we are a regional annex for that. This process started in 22. Since the state was involved, it's another government entity working at its speed. So the final draft was proposed to us this spring. We presented that to the commissioners with the known errors. The Board of County Commissioners said to change the errors with the state. It's taken us 8 months to get that done. So the final plan was adopted last Thursday by the county commissioners as it's presented to you guys. So what we need from the council is a signed MOU stating that if you guys want to participate in this hazard mitigation plan, if you don't have to. It just means that you're not eligible for any federal funds for any mitigation projects in the future. Not saying that there is going to be any funds available. All of our mitigation funds have already been cut. So to be honest, this is a plan that needs to be in place that will probably not get used anytime in the future.
Would you mind describing what you mean by mitigation, please?
Mitigation is anything that so like these trees in the park, you guys identified as hazardous trees. It's one of the things that we identified in the county. You guys could have applied for a FEMA grant to have those trees removed because they're detrimental to the community function. So, yeah. So there's other projects in that throughout that entire plan that we've identified and everything else. So, so I'm presenting to you tonight. The director of emergency management is at the Hamilton City Council tonight, presenting the same thing. Next week we'll be in Stevensville to present it to them as well.
So basically what you're looking for is just a memorandum of understanding regarding this.
Correct. That you guys accept the plan as it was presented to you. And basically we're going to be the pass-through entity and we'll work with projects on you guys in the future if you identify and there's funding available.
Personally, I think that'd be nice.
Play nice in the sandbox.
And I can answer any questions about the plan to the best of my ability.
If we approve it, we need to change the date. Passed and approved on, wasn't the 14th of October.
Always catch things.
That's when I did it.
Yeah, that's when she got the paperwork.
Now, Tammy, I had no choice. I didn't.
Oh, I know.
I'm in favor of participating. I think that's the correct word with the county and their mitigation plans. So, if this resolution suffices for memorandum of understanding or whatever MOU, I motion to approve resolution 790 with the date corrected.
I'll second.
Okay.
The resolution is something they provided to us, and I just used their sample.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a template that the state created.
Yeah.
Passed on the 14th.
Aye.
Mark, Donna,
Aye.
Ashley,
I
Nate,
Aye.
Chair, aye.
Who seconded it? Sorry.
Ashley.
I think so.
Do you
Thank you.
have an email or someplace that you would like us to send an executed copy of that to you?
Do you need
or?
the original?
Yeah, we'll need a copy of the original.
Okay.
Like a certified copy to attach with our records.
So you need it notarized?
There's some paperwork to fill out for a certified copy. But
Yeah, it's just basically since we have the master plan on file with the clerk and recorder, all the MOUs that are signed will have to be filed with him as well. So I guess if you guys want to make two copies of an original copy for you and a copy that I can come pick up, I'll be happy to take it to the clerk and recorder and have her file it at this time.
As long as you got the copy, that should suffice.
Yeah, so if you want two MOUs, sign them both. When it's done, I can take it. I can come back next week, whatever. So we just have to notify the state by November 17th that you've approved the MOU.
Okay. I think we got that covered.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the request to annex portion of Cole Avenue.
So I provided you a copy of the letter that came from the Duval County Attorney and the email that came from Jeff Burrows when I was trying to make sure that I was interpreting his letter correctly. But we will have to have a presentation to the planning board, and we'll have to do all the things that anybody else would be to annex a piece of property. But I have to have the direction from the council in order to submit that to the planning board. that you want to annex Cole Avenue. That is currently known as a county road from the end of the pavement. Well, take that back. It's already been annexed up to the 5th house in the Darby Meadows subdivision. It's where the road kind of narrows back in again.
jobs.
So it'll take, it's from that point to the bottom of the hill.
We're not
Is that
taking
section.
anything up above that.
We're not taking
Okay.
anything up the hill at all, no. It would be just to the point past the subdivision.
Does that put that in the city limit?
If we annex it in, it would.
Okay.
Yeah, the roadway right now is not. The extra 20 feet, that is part of the subdivision. The subdivision gave an additional 20 feet to make that road wider, and that is in the city. But then there's the determination, were you speeding on that 20 feet or were you speeding on the other part when TJ gives you a speeding ticket to determine if you're in the city limits or not right now. So for the ease in enforcement and the ability for us to put money into improving that roadway up past the subdivision, it has to belong to the town and be in the town limits.
So, I have a question. Is the rest of that road going up Cole, is that a private road?
From the bottom of the hill up, I understand it is a private road, and we all who have property up there have easements to use it.
Because I've walked my dog there for years, and I was taking a walk up there, and the guy stopped me and said, "Do you live up here?" Which I could have said I was visiting somebody, like Fiedler or somebody else. And he said, "I can't go on it because it's a private road." And I was just like, okay. And I asked TJ about it, or I asked the other guy about it. He said he was going to check into it, but I just thought that was
To my
really-
knowledge, that is the way that works, and we are all adjusting to new people moving in here and not being as open and free with their
Hospitable.
roadways and things as it's been in the
Okay.
past.
Thanks.
I'm in favor of pursuing annexation of the rest of Cole Avenue.
Second.
He didn't make a motion.
I wasn't making a motion because being the representative of the planning board, I didn't know if I should be giving the planning board work to do.
Sure
But
you
if
are.
anybody wants to make a motion, I'll second it.
Well, but say I seconded you because you were on the planning board.
I'll move
Do you need a motion or a consensus?
Let's do it as a motion, and that way
I'll
there's no
move
question.
to approve to pursue annexation of the rest of Cole Avenue to the bottom of the hill.
Same second.
Mark,
Aye.
Donna,
Aye.
Ashley,
Aye.
Nate,
Aye.
Jerry. Okay. Ready to move on? All right. New business, 106 East Tanner parking lot fence.
Okay, so we had, like I said, I only have bids from one contractor. It's considerably more than I had hoped to find. And that is because I was staying away from the chain link fence with the slats in it. That is a cheaper alternative. He actually, the gentleman gave me 3 different options. 2 of them have, one of them has one piece of guardrail on the bottom and then metal across. He felt the guardrail might be more durable if we were going to plow snow up in that area, which typically we do from the parking lot. We plow it all over to that side. So there is one picture there that has one piece of guardrail on the bottom, another one that has 2 pieces of guardrail on the bottom, and then the third piece is just the 26 gauge metal that goes straight across. It is not the design that I spoke to you about before. He said that would be considerably more expensive because of the labor involved, plus it would be an additional maintenance thing for the town to have to maintain the wood portion of the fence. So if you would like me to get bids from another contractor, I can do that. If you want to look at what this fence would look like, you can look at the fence that was put up from the corner of the new Stud Muffins building between there and Mr. T's. That metal was purchased from this contractor, but they chose to put in wood posts and rails rather than the metal ones that are in this bid, so that they could put it up more inexpensively. I'm all in for the inexpensive, but I also know that we need to be dealing with things that require less maintenance all the time, and I am worried about the wood posts and the wooden rails.
Was there an actual bid amount for these?
They were written on the pictures.
One
Oh, I
guardrail
see.
was
Okay.
5,000.
Yeah.
So the one is 5,000.
I think 6,500 was the
Two
one that
guardrails.
mounts the guardrails.
6,500. Okay.
I understood the durability of the guardrails, but I'm not very fond of the look of it.
Yeah.
Is it possible, is it more of it's a structural issue as well, but what about in terms of a privacy issue?
That is the reason that we're putting the fence in, is we have a town code that if you have a parking lot over 7 spaces, you have to shield it from residential property. And so that's the reason that we're putting it in. It has to be at least 4 feet tall. Yeah, the colored pictures are a lot easier to see. It has to be at least 4 foot tall according to our town code. So in order for us to enforce the rules on anyone else, we really need to follow the rules ourselves. It's the reason that we're putting a fence up.
I think in maybe one of the past few meetings we talked about the possibility of putting a pipe fence in there.
A pipe fence?
Yeah.
Well, and that's what this is. The posts and the rails are
But no-
metal pipe.
Yeah, but no, in other words, it would.
No metal on them.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
It does have to shield the parking lot from the residential, and so just the rails across there wouldn't shield the property from the parking lot.
It's got to have some kind of
It has to
shielding
have a
board on it.
visual block of the parking lot to there.
And you said that
I understand.
chain link with the slats is,
It's more inexpensive than this.
and it's cheaper than this.
But we do run into that, and if you want to look at a piece of that he has done up around Lori Ellis's house on South Violet Street, he put that fence in, and it's got the slats in it. He said it does run the chance of vandalism, like pulling the chinking out of the museum and all that stuff, because the slats will come out. So,
It'll probably break.
and you can
Easier
get
than-
metal slats or you can get plastic
Oh, I see.
slats, and so there is a different lifespan for either of those.
Is he considering this a bid?
He was considering that a bid with the handwritten dollar amount in the sides of it.
The
I say we need more bids.
Yeah.
Okay.
we had talked about before leaving a space, kind of like that one, leaving a space
On the bottom.
underneath
Yeah.
for either weed eating or whatever
Well, if
else
you
would
put the
be.
metal
Yeah.
clear down the ground, it'll start rusting out. I wasn't sure
Yeah,
about
and
that.
it does need to have some air underneath it a little bit, but it doesn't, we don't want it to be able to glare headlights through into their living space
Right.
either.
Yep.
So.
Thank you.
More bids it is. Do you want to bid on the chain link?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. You ready to move on? Okay. Street right-of-way regulations.
And those was the letter that's in there. I wanted to check with you guys if you can think of any other things that you would like to have included in this, or if you don't think it's necessary. It's entirely up to you. It was just an idea because it came across the feed of my Facebook, and I thought if they can put it on Facebook like that, we should be able to stick it in with the water bill and send it out to everybody. So a lot of people do not understand that they don't own the property from their property line clear to the pavement of the street. They don't understand that the streets are 60 feet wide and that they're only meant for temporary parking, that you're not supposed to park your camp trailers and your boats and everything out there year round. So that is basically what this is for. It's coming the time of year that we're plowing snow, and when people park all that stuff out there along the street all the time, it's difficult to make sure that you don't damage their vehicles when you go by with a snow plow, or they get plowed in and then they call and they're upset because I can't dig the snow out and that type of stuff. So I'm just asking them to help us out a little bit by moving their vehicles and trying to recognize the fact that Public Works can't stop and hand shovel every individual out that parks on the street.
The question I've got is those garbage cans down there in the second to the last paragraph. Like the large ones, you can't move them. Once they're placed, they're placed.
But they can be placed back off of the edge of the
They're
pavement.
like ours is, but that's
Because
where
the
they
truck
put
can
it.
come, they can get off of the edge of the road a little ways to pick up those garbage cans on a regular basis.
And they can reach over a snow berm and grab that
Yeah,
dumpster.
and usually I keep it back about 3 feet, but then some of them bring it back out in the road or
Right.
wherever they want to put them.
Right, where they set it down, maybe not the best
Yeah.
place for it.
We have several garbage cans in town, that the big black ones, that every week they move a little farther into the alley or into the street. And
Right.
there are several of us who stop and move things like that and picnic tables out of the roadway. They have a way of working themselves back out to the road, and we just have to be consistent in trying to keep them moved back off of there.
I'm in favor of help reminding people to work together as a town to keep things available for us. We don't want to have issues, and giving people opportunities to follow what we're asking, or at least give feedback on what we're asking. This would be a great way to send that out and notify them.
Starts the conversation.
Exactly.
I think we have to keep in mind that it also just kind of serves as a reminder and try and gently prod some of these. Some of these people have parked in the road easement for an awful long time. If we can gently prod and say, this is a reminder, let's work together, whatever. I don't mind it, but I think we have some bigger fish to fry. So, just my opinion.
Of this issue?
Not necessarily this issue, just in general.
This is a small sliver in
Well, it
things
is,
that
if
need
all
to be
brings, but
attended to.
sending a
Exactly.
notice to people to help them.
And I
Be
think
aware.
as long as it's a gentle reminder,
Right.
and
So, reminder snow's coming,
Right.
pay
Yeah.
attention a little bit. Makes life a whole lot simpler if they can plow better.
So I'm in favor of it.
Okay.
Anybody against it? Sending it out? Excuse me, I'm not the chair.
You got a chair. What does the public think? The ones that are here.
Well, I agree.
I agree.
I see a lot of people park way out in the street, actually.
Okay? Thank you.
Yeah, we agree.
So we need a motion on this, or?
That's up to you.
I don't think it needs a motion. I think it's just a council consensus that the mayors can send that out.
Yes, ma'am.
Were you thinking doing a letter? Or maybe just like a cute postcard kind of thing?
Well, we thought about a postcard, but it got kind of long. And you can pass that down so that she can take a look at it if you like.
Because
We send out water bills in the mail every
Month.
month,
we
end of the
hope.
month. And
Monthly,
so
yeah.
the first thought is to include it in that envelope with people's water bills. Some people do get theirs emailed, but it can also be attached to that we send to them.
But it won't get read.
would you be sending this to the whole town? Is my
Yes.
question. Okay.
Yes, it
That's
won't
why.
be targeted to
People
any
get letters
individual,
and
it's
too
everybody.
lengthy. If you have like little bullets,
Mm-hmm.
bullet points,
Mm-hmm.
saying this, this, and that. Let's help each other out.
Yeah.
I
Work
read,
together as a
A
community.
lot of times this goes like this, like that, use this scrap paper.
I read mine when it comes on my email and my water bill. I pay mine online, and I read the bullets that are sent out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
We don't have a water bill, so,
Good.
but, and we don't park on the street, but we see it,
Yeah.
and it's a nuisance. And like you said, the snow.
You know,
But it,
can't get it out of there if you're parked on it. Can't get it out of there if you're parked
that
on
is
it.
correct.
So,
I do appreciate your time, though, and listening to my concerns.
No problem.
thank you. So, consensus? All right. Moving on to on-schedule matters.
Where are we at with the cleanup project that we were talking about?
I believe that that's what some of the public comment will be about here shortly, but we are actually still waiting for the judge to give us the directive letter that we can enforce the plea agreement.
What is the holdup?
The judge was gone to training for a week, and then the attorney was gone for a week, and then the attorney is gone, or not the attorney, the judge is gone part of last week, and most if not all of this week
Except for
again.
Friday.
So that is part of it, is they have been out of office and unavailable.
But how long has this been going on?
It's been going on a long time, but there are some liability issues for the town to enter onto private property and to clean up somebody's property without a directive from the court to do so.
So the court has to say, you can go clean up that mess
There was
that he has.
there was
That smells even.
there was an actual signed agreement between the individual and the court that if it wasn't cleaned up by a certain date, that the town would have the ability to come in and do that. It was not cleaned up by that time, and we're waiting on the processing of the paperwork to get to us before I can get bids from somebody to go in there and clean it up. What I think is garbage, you may not think is garbage. So that's part of the reason that we want the directive. You know, an old vehicle that doesn't run.
I want to say something. Just real,
Can you
I'm
guys,
Caroline Amon.
before you talk, can you guys give me your names?
Caroline Amon.
Okay.
You spell it EHMANN.
Okay.
So I've been in the town of Darby I taught at the school for 28 years, but I've been in the town of Darby for at least 18 years. And I live on 110 North Mill Street, and I take pride, as well as most of the other neighbors and homeowners in our street. I've been seeing this mess on 113 Mill Street for over 2 years. I wrote a petition with all my neighbors, almost all of them. Submitted it to Nancy, submitted it to the judge, talked to the judge, emailed the town attorney that lives over, I forget where, James, and I've been in contact with him, and they keep saying it. So over a year, TJ has told me, and then I came back, then I did the petition, and it hasn't gotten any better in 2 years. And I'm not a direct neighbor, I'm diagonal, but that's just my comment, I guess. And so frustrated with the process. I realize it is a process. I realize it takes time, but it's been, and like Cheryl said, and Laura can talk, and Cheryl, I go by there, I ride my bike. I got bit by a dog a few years ago from that address. That was when Larry was here. That dog's no longer there. There's 2 aggressive dogs that are at the window, and the judge told me that I should feel safe and comfortable in my neighborhood. I drive by there, I ride by there with my bike. My neighborhood friends say it stinks there. It stinks there because there's garbage, and literally garbage. And the rest of us have to pay for garbage and pay for everything. And I'm just kind of, it's just really frustrating.
We're all frustrated.
And that's all I'm going to say. I've talked to Nancy several times, and the judge, and emailed, and I written a letter, a petition, and this is my last straw kind of. I feel like I cannot do anymore, and I just wanted to come because it's been bothering me, and I try to let it go, but that's it. So if Laura
And I'm Laura Orr, and I live right directly next to the mess. I've been there for 5 years, and I told my son if I knew that when I bought a house and moved into Darby, that I was moving into next door to the Darby landfill, I sure in the hell wouldn't have bought the house. I mean, basically, that's what it is. I have pictures here. I emailed them to the judge. I emailed them to the attorney. There's barrels back there with God knows what fluids in them. Are they leaking into the ground? I mean, the mess in the back. This garbage sat beside his camp trailer that's right at my driveway for 3 weeks. And then the dogs started getting into it. Finally, I'm like, when are you going to clean it up? He was home. I won't dare go to the door because the one dog, I know if I went to the door and they opened the door, that dog would take my leg. I put a note on his windshield. Move your trash. It's been here for 3 weeks. The dogs are scattering it. It was the next morning before it was gone, picked up. But I walk down my driveway, the dog comes growling, barking at the fence. It's like if that fence wasn't there, I'd be attacked. And it's every day. I mean, we can't even walk down our driveway and have it peaceful. There's a dog growling, barking. I pull up, I get out of my car in the front of the house, and there's these 2 dogs in the window. You can hear them bark and growl. And that's not what I moved to town for.
Yeah, we also just have called DEQ. I've talked to somebody from the state. I called Helena because I'm concerned about all the waste and the junk vehicles in the front and the back. If they're not running, are they leaking into the things? There's propane tanks. There's 8 or 10 tires.
He's got a motorhome that's been there
Safety.
Yeah,
Leaks in the ground.
In the front yard,
Do you want me to show them the pictures? Or I don't know if you guys want to see it.
there's tires and all this right in front of his garage. The green trailer that's now in the back that was full of trash, it would sit right there in front, full of trash for weeks, for months. Never hauled away, never taken away, just trash, stinky trash. And then finally, when you guys started getting on him, well, he backed it into the backyard.
Well, it did get hauled away.
Then it finally got hauled away.
But now it's filling
and
back
then he
up
brought it
with
back.
garbage.
And it sat there in the front, and I kept watching. He wasn't putting garbage in it, and then all of a sudden, next thing I know, it was gone. And I don't know if it's in the back again or not.
It's in the back.
But
I
DEQ
can
said,
say from my
DEQ
house.
department, they said it was up to the town of Darby.
Yes.
And so they don't want to step on any toes. And so I did talk to them as well. Emailed them and I called the state. And they said,
Well, I know if LaDonna said to tell you guys, if she hadn't had to work, she'd have been here today.
oh yeah,
too.
LaDonna's the other neighbor.
LaDonna
She's
lives
on
right
the other
next
end.
door to him, and every time she walks out her back door, that dog is at that gate, like as if he's going to come right through that gate and get her.
She said that
She's scared to death of it.
she has to work nights and she doesn't even like to go out to get a package. And so that's what I'm saying when he says it's safe and comfortable. It's not
It's
really.
not.
And I mean, I might want to sell my house, and I've talked to some other people. I don't want to. I love it up there, except for I love it. But our property values are going to go down when people see who wants to live next to that, and that's what another neighbor told me, which he didn't come either. He lives on the other side of me, but just that kind of stuff.
It doesn't go anywhere. I understand he's already spent 10 days in jail over it, but it didn't make any difference.
There's just like ordinances and there's things that they can do with other court cases and other towns that have cleanups. And I just think that, and I'm not blaming anybody, it's the process, trying to be patient, but she's been here 5 years, I've been here, and I've
been
seen
here
it
30
I've seen
years.
it gotten worse.
Yeah, it's progressing, not degressing. And I don't think it should take 2 years to...
And we
He
emailed
never,
her
he
to a
never mows
solution.
his lawn. He never cuts any grass whatsoever. I have never
There's too
seen
many
him
veh-
with a
there's-
lawnmower.
Well, there's so many vehicles in the front that,
Well, let's not be mean, but
That's-
there's 3 broken lawnmowers in the back.
oh yeah, and I have pictures of that too. The judge has
If we go over there and try to take a picture, no.
There's vehicles back there, there's a boat back
There's
there.
a motorhome.
I mean,
And a dump trailer now with
Yeah.
garbage, which I understand if you have a privacy fence, maybe you can hide that, but I can see
well, I
through it
believe
because
that's
it's
why
chain
Madonna
link.
put in the chain link with the slats in
Slats,
it.
But you can
So
see
she
it
didn't have
when
to
I ride my
look at
bike.
it,
I can
but
see it, and I don't want to. I
You
want
can
to
see
just go
through
like
the
this.
gate. If I go in my back, like I say, I walk down my driveway, pull the garbage cans out, or to go to my garage. That dog, he's right there.
Yeah, and she, like I said,
aggressively at that fence. If that
LaDonna
fence
did.
wasn't
I
there,
think LaDonna did sign it, but she works nights, so. But she's the other direct neighbor,
yeah.
and the other people they don't. Yeah, Cheryl is in diagonal.
I live, yeah.
She lives on the corner. She comes over to my house before she even gets to my house. The dogs are in the window barking at
Yeah.
her.
And they might not be mean, but they sure look aggressive.
So that gray one,
Mark.
yeah.
Could we ask the chief of police to investigate and talk to us about this at the next meeting?
He already has some
He
several
has
cases
done it
on this.
10 dozen times.
I don't know if he
So-
talked to you guys at the meeting, but he took pictures.
In all honesty, like right now, we're kind of pending the judgment side of it because it cannot come before us until a judgment is placed. Once a judgment is ordered, so they just have like a pre-agreement type thing.
Okay.
And so it's like a pre-judgment, and so whenever he fails to meet that, then the judge will actually make a true judgment on it.
Well, from our understanding, he's already failed to meet that
Right.
because we believe it was the end of September.
Right, and now we're waiting on the actual true judgment to come in, so which would be the order that
From
that
the
Nancy-
judge.
from the judge.
And
And once-
actually, in response to your, I don't know your name,
Mark.
sir.
Mark.
But TJ and I have been in contact several times, and he's seen the pictures. He's talked to him. He's talked to the lawyer to try to get a process going, and they want to keep finding him. Which it's not just him; it's him and his wife or significant other.
No, she's his wife.
Well, okay, but it's
And
the
the
land
kids,
property.
the kids
but,
are always there. You think the kids would
Yeah,
have
now the kids are always there.
but
and-
TJ has been in contact and tried to write tickets. Yeah,
Well, yeah,
Some
there-
people you
there
just
is
can't
current-
change, man.
I know.
There is currently a case going, and we're just pending the judgment
Okay.
for it to come here for us to actually do something about it. Just even looking at other, Harding had a case on it. Helena had a case. Cascade County had a case on it. All of them have to have the judgment in place before they can proceed.
Okay.
So once we get a judgment, then we can
Okay.
proceed from there. But unfortunately, we're held up by.
And that
And
being
that's why
said,
I brought it up.
Thank
It wasn't on the agenda, that's why I brought it up. I didn't want to let it drop.
Yeah. Thank you.
and that being
But that's
said,
what unscheduled
that is the
matters are for.
DK problem that
Right.
we are waiting for the judgment on. The dog thing is a whole nother issue. You need to talk to TJ about that, about the vicious dog ordinance.
I know, but sometimes you have to talk to TJ then, and
I will.
LaDonna too. But sometimes people don't want to.
I understand.
You know, I
that.
mean, when I got bit by their healer, I made sure that dog had a rabies shot. You know,
Oh, yeah.
but now these are 2 different dogs, and they just
Actually, there's 3 dogs over there.
wow.
Is there 3? I've seen 2.
Are they registered with the city?
I would have to go check the list.
And do they have current licenses?
That would
Well, that
be
would be a
registered,
registration
yeah.
with us.
I don't know because they hardly ever get out of the house.
We don't enforce our dog licensing very well.
Well,
One-
it's kind of hard to.
One comment
Just don't.
about dogs,
Yes.
not about this issue, but
Yes.
I used to read water meters. I used to walk to town and read all the water meters, and there was several properties in town where you'd go into their fenced yard to have to read their water meter, and their dog would be in the house. And one time, the dog came through the screen door, and I bailed over the nearest fence just to get away from him. So just because they're behind a door or behind a window
Doesn't mean you're safe.
doesn't mean you're safe.
I have seen that dog open that window. I have.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, this is a concern to the council, and it's the town, and so we apologize for not being able to act on it.
Well,
Here, I'm not speaking
yeah.
as myself. I'm apologizing that we're not able to act on it. That it's gotten this far before and apparently it's going to go a little bit longer before we can get in there and get it cleaned up.
Okay, thank you.
And what resolution will that make for future?
It doesn't. That would be with the court making sure. After that, once it's cleaned up, it's my impression that the town could stay more on top of it and not letting it get to this point.
Yeah, but then that's an expense to all of us
Correct.
that don't even live there.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Expense for everybody in this whole town.
And the whole cleanup will be put on the property as a lien. Is the
Because
Well,
if
the
you
plan.
rented a place like from somebody, that there's no way that would be allowed.
No.
And there should, as homeowners, I think they need to be responsible for it. Which you're saying.
Yeah, if we
there
were
could be
in
a
an
lien on the
HOA,
property, but
Boy, you'd be out.
what about if we don't want an HOA though?
No, we don't, but I mean,
but
in
if
a way,
you put a lien on it, or if he turns around and tries to sue you, or then what do you do? I don't know.
yeah, I don't know either. But in a way, the entire town is an HOA. We have rules and regulations,
city
Right.
and so we're trying to enforce them, but it's gotten lengthy and difficult to enforce.
Okay,
Because I might not think that antique car in somebody's backyard is precious. I might think that it's garbage. And so there's a determination, even when we go in to clean it up, there's going to be a lot of decisions have to be made.
But if something hasn't moved for like 10, however,
That motorhome has sat there now ever since Steve moved in there.
I don't know how many years ago he moved
And I
in,
think
but I'm
the
just
state
saying, what if-
actually has some laws on
but what if it
vehicles.
like leaks? That's what I'm saying, safety issues.
Right.
yeah, especially those barrels.
Well, all
back there.
those
Barrels.
And,
Yeah.
you know,
You don't know what's in them, and then obviously there's maggots, and it smelled like something died, and that's what LaDonna said. And one time her neighbor came to visit, or no, a friend, and said, "What's that smell?" And I just think that's wrong. And I know you're on our side, and I appreciate it. So I guess that's it. I could keep going. But stop. Time out. It's time out.
Time out, Caroline,
you.
time out.
Oh, so we're just waiting on judgment before we can do anything.
Yeah.
So we have to
But
wait
do you
for
guys,
the
can you
judge.
guys, I guess my question is, TJ's met with the judge, can you guys bug the judge to say, hey, can you do something because you've been gone for 3 weeks, and this has happened back in March when I wrote the petition, and I went and met with him?
We can at least ask him for a time frame when he's going to issue the order.
Okay. Okay,
We would appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank
Is
you.
that it? Okay, I'm gonna go. Thank you.
All right.
Try to watch the World Series,
Okay. Any public comment, input on any matter not on the agenda? I think we just covered that one pretty well.
Well, I think we did, didn't we?
Okay, good to the order?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you.